Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the township of Miners Rest, its pioneers and some of the families that lived here. To do that, I think I've got to put it in perspective a bit and talk a bit about the Ballarat Shire to start with. And on the map beside me today, I have a map of the Ballarat Shire. Ballarat Shire is different to the borough of Ballarat. The borough of Ballarat was the city of Ballarat. So we'll talk about the Shire. And going right back to the start, it was all run in pastoral leases. And settlement first started in 1838, and then of course we had about 13 years of the quiet times and with the pastoralists and their flocks. And then gold was found. And gold was found at Clunes and Buninyong, 1851. And so the miners between walked and camped at Miners Rest. Whilst Clunes is down here and Buninyong's out the other side, and this is where they rested. Hence the name Miners Rest. With the finding of gold, they wanted food for the miners. So all the pastoral leases were withdrawn and subdivision took place. And as you can see in the Ballarat Shire, it's all divided into allotments. And then when they put farmers on, they wanted roads. And they formed the Ballarat District Roads Board, and that takes in the whole of the area which was to become the Ballarat Shire. And they had toll gates to help get money for the roads and bridges. And so each road had a toll gate on the start and the finish. The one from Ballarat, roughly the Arch of Victory, went right through Burrumbeet out to Beaufort, and that was the Raglan Road, or they called it the Old Telegraph Road. Hence, this was the old telegraph toll gate down here, and Burrumbeet up this end. Near each toll gate was usually a hotel. And if you could come through the toll gate and back, you only paid one lot of tolls. But if you took longer than your day to go through and then come back the next day, you'd have to pay twice. Hence, that's why there was a hotel, and they would go through the toll gate and stop at the hotel. Up where Harvey Norman is, present day, was the Plough toll gate, named after the Plough Hotel, which was right on the corner. I think Hungry Jack might be there now. And on the other end of that road, it went right through here up to Warborough, which was known as the Springs, and that had the Springs toll gate. This road through here went right up through and right up to Amherst, up near Talbot. And here, on this end, was Cleaver's toll gate, mainly because Cleaver lived there and he run the toll gate. There was another toll gate up here, which was the Torello toll gate. That was on the end of the Clunes Road. On the end of this road up through here, down here was the Turf toll gate, and that's the Creswick Road, went out through into the Creswick Shire, and they had the Rose Hill toll gate on that end. And on this road through here, up through Torello, and the Torello toll gate was up here. From now on, I'll talk a little bit about the road through here, which is Howard Street. and on the corner here was the start of the Ballarat Town Common. And there was about 3,000 acres in there, and people used to put their cows and horses in there, mainly in Ballarat City's area because they had no land around their houses and they run their cattle on the common. So they had cattle yards, and the ranger had his house there, and he was the manager of the common. As we come out that road, we come to the junction of the Clunes Road and the Lambeth Road. And there was a big hotel there, and that was named the Junction Hotel, or the Grand Junction Hotel. A two-storey place, brick hotel, and it was a hotel for a number of years. Back on the right was the Grimes house, made of mud bricks. Granny Grimes used to live in a house there. Up along here on the Lambeth Road was another hotel, and that was the Olive Branch Hotel. And a little bit further out was the Barley Sheaf Hotel. It was run by John Boult, and the story is that his sons were coopers, made barrels. And there was a chap called in there one day and watched them work, these two boys in the shed in the backyard, and he thought how good they were at handling timber. He told them he was going to Ballarat and he was going to start a business, and on the way back he said he had bought the business and he wanted them to start and work for him, the two boys. From the backyard they worked, in the shed, and he was H.V. Mackay, that went on to become one of the biggest machinery makers in the Southern Hemisphere. The Boult family and went to work for him, the two boys, made the first 16 harvesters, and in later years their sons worked for him and the grandsons, and the Boult family worked 500 years for H.V. Mackay. Not lengthways, but the whole lot of them together. Very important man. As we come along here, we come down past a place here, and that was the Patterson home. And that's where the first of the Pattersons of Miners Rest started. A little bit further along we come to what is known as Ken and Margaret Adams's and the Gates. A lot of subdivision going there now, but that was first owned by Henry Mount. He was a big stock agent, more or less. He had for about 8 years and then sold to the Stephen Holgate, who became a big estate agent in Ballarat and even down into the Hamilton area. And then that passed on to the Coglins, and then it became known as the Coglin Gates, and there's been a fair bit of talk about them recently. Just over the road from the Coglin homestead was William Morgan, who also had a hotel, and he was a carrier, and he called his the Carrier Arms Hotel. The next one on the corner was the Newmarket Hotel. There was a chap by the name of Caleb Crompton, and he went broke 3 or 4 times and was made bankrupt, and then he decided to go into the hotel business. Before he opened his hotel there, he went to the races, and he liked a drink or two. Coming home, fell off his horse and broke his neck and died. And they never went looking for him because they were quite used to him not coming home. He used to like the drink. And that happened before he opened the hotel. The next one to move into the hotel was Wilson, John Wilson, and he had a big stable there, and it was where the Cobb and Co horses changed at the Cobb and Co state, at the Newmarket Hotel, but it was the Cobb and Co stables. He closed or lost the agency for Cobb and Co, and he became a horse trainer. He had 5 sons. One of them, they all become horse trainers, but one was a jockey, and he fell off his horse at the races one day and crushed his chest and died. He's buried in the cemetery. The other 4 become horse trainers. They sold the hotel and started a horse training business up opposite to the Dowling Forest Cemetery. They then leased the race course and worked from the race course, horse training. There were 4 boys were training, and one decided to move to Melbourne, down to Caulfield. He was Charlie, and Charlie didn't think he was as good at training as the 3 brothers, and he ended up committing suicide, shot himself down along the racecourse, roughly there, and he's buried in the Dowling Forest Cemetery. So he sold, when he sold out here, a chap by the name of Howe come in, and he was also a racehorse trainer, and he had 3 sons and a daughter, and one of the boys was a jockey, and he had fallen off horses in races and had brain damage, and he became a bit unstable mentally. He moved to Adelaide, and the mental bloke eventually went and shot his sister. Very tragic story on around that Newmarket Hotel. We come down and we'll come into the township of Miners Rest.